And we're live. Hello. How's it going, everybody? Sorry it took a little bit of time to get on here. Or what? Only 15 minutes behind.
Sorry, Ross had technical difficulties. It was Ross's fault. 100%. Oh, I'm sorry. I mean,
if you guys...
oh, God, his name's on there. You idiot, Ross. Everyone can see it's your name.
He's trying to be anonymous, but if anyone can't understand Ross, just put it in the comments and we'll make him change his synthesizer. But
no, everybody knows my name. They just don't know my voice or what I look like. That's fine.
Except for half the league is friends with you on Facebook.
Oh, man. You screwed this up already.
All right, so we're going to start. I have my rankings done. For Scott is currently still working on his.
Almost done.
And I just base these off of Elliot says ouch my ears. Apparently that's to Ross.
Yes.
I based mine off of where I thought everyone was going to finish this season. I did take rookie picks into account slightly, not a lot, because we don't know how the rookies are actually going to pan out. So with that in mind,
Steve has like 3 names. He's got Steve Mead, the Empire, Classic Cola.
Yeah, so for me, that was the problem. I would have been done with these rankings, but I kept writing down like the wrong names because apparently everybody changed their name in the last 48 hours, and then I had different names, and now I don't even know who the fuck is who. And then some asshole is still franchise 5, so I just excluded you. Like, you're not even in the league. If you can't change your name, you're disqualified. Seriously, that's annoying.
He has some extenuating circumstances, so we'll give him another week.
Okay.
A week? Takes 2 minutes.
Okay, he can have another week for extenuating circumstances, but I'm not ranking him. So, what I did, I know some of you guys, obviously we met each other in this other league, the AFFA. And so for those who are not familiar, we did this kind of ranking thing when we broke up, and that league is different tiers, right? So it's going to be similar. So what I wanted to do is kind of take a different approach to the ranking system that I created for that league. And so I broke it down by each position, and I gave a grade for each team. So quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end. So each team got a positional grade ranking 1 to 5. So 1 being you're don't even have any starters. You can't do anything. 5 is pretty rare to get. 3 is kind of the standard baseline. That's what your average starters are going to score. And then 4 is, anything above that. Obviously 5 is elite. So 2, for example, would be if you would score below the average for that starting position. So for example, running back is required 2 starters. So if you don't have 2 starters, you're not going to get that. Anyway, you'll see as we go how I broke down these, and then I created a total score, and then we'll compare that then with what Mick has and whoever Ross is being today, and we'll figure that out.
Ross, do you want to real quick hit us with the starting requirements for this league? If you remember them off the top of your head.
Yes, start 10. I got a QB, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 1 super flex, and 2 flex. It's a tight end premium, so you get 1.75 per reception for tight ends.
Oh, God, is it? Tight end premium?
Yeah. That's why I was really confused why you were waiting on tight end.
Wow, I guess I shouldn't have punted the tight end position.
I was confused by that comment, but I wasn't going to say anything because your team was already too good. So I was like, fuck, I'm not going to help him.
Yeah, fuck tight ends. I don't care anyway. I don't care about tight ends.
That's why
this is the commissioner protection system, so you're right on that.
Because he wants to remain anonymous. They all want you to turn it off, Ross.
Yeah, it sucks. That's what they're saying, not me. I didn't say that. Live comments. Oh, yeah. Shit. There we go. I forgot to turn that on. Now I can see everybody. Classic Cola. Who the fuck is that?
That's Steve, also called Empire.
Oh, my God. Why do you have 8 names, Steve?
Because he's a dick.
Oh, I love it. Actually, I love it, Steve. Good job. Good work. Yeah, actually, that's more confusing than Ross at this point. So
All right, I will start with my 12th ranked team. And obviously, this one was pretty easy for me. It's myself. Real quick, I do want to touch on the number of trades that everyone did so far.
oh yeah, do that.
At the bottom, with the least amount of trades, was Team 5. He had 4.
Well, he doesn't exist. He doesn't count. So whatever.
True. Next up was Run CMC with 6. Ross was next with 7. There were 2 teams with 8, Steve and George Puff. Metal Militia had 9. Lord Chicken McDicken had 10. Junior and the Skull Chef both had 13. The dealer had 10 as well, and then I had 21.
That's it?
What do you mean that's it?
Were you sick? Were you having a bad week or off week, or you just don't care about this league, or what?
There's a trade embargo. That's pretty impressive with the trade embargo.
Yeah, that's pretty good, man. Fucking Cuba over here working the back roads through China.
Hey, Cody, make a name. Franchise 5. He's in the chat, so he's listening to us.
Yeah, Cody, make a name. Dude, this is how it worked in our other league. If you didn't have a team name, if your team name's Franchise 5, I don't rank you. I don't give a shit.
Well,
you're getting all 3s, and I don't care. Whatever.
If you don't have a name by Friday, I'm giving you one.
Oh yeah, that's even better.
And you'll end up being Chicken McDicken.
You might have to end up with Lord Chicken McDicken.
Or I can't. Ross, how would you pronounce the way you spelled trader?
Trades are us.
Trades are us.
Oh
yeah, it's like Toys R Us. Instead of toys, you got trades.
Yeah, but you did it. Yeah, the spelling's weird.
Well, that's because it's mixed team.
Yeah, because I can't spell worth a shit.
Oh, I'm an idiot.
Oh, come on, Scott.
Perfect sense. No, okay,
right.
Okay.
So anyway, that's who I have at 12 is Trader R Us or Trades R Us. I have Sam Darnold, Daniel Jones, Dwayne Haskins as my QBs. Right now, my running backs are Rojo and Miles Sanders. Wide receivers, Cooper, DJ Moore, and Will Fuller. Tight end, I have Waller and Ian Thomas. And then I have 103, 105, 106, 110, 112. So
I'd rather have my tight ends than yours, and I didn't care about tight end.
It's debatable. Just because Waller's old.
No. When they draft Judy, and then it's going to be Renfro in the slot, Rashard out of the backfield, Judy all day, Tyrell getting a few bombs. They're going to be like, who? What tight end? Darren Waller? And then he's going to get all sad, and he's going to go, sniff some lines, and he'll be back out of the league just like he was before.
Well, they're being more lenient on drugs, so maybe he'll just go do some weed. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
So I do want to point out that just like the other league rankings, I did not take into account draft capital or anything. So I'm ranking.
I'm assuming my team is dead last in this.
Yeah, one. So I'm ranking what is here on paper that we can see right now with your team, and if we were to start lineups today, like that's how I'm ranking it. So yes, we are in agreement. That make your last.
Yeah. I can't really make any argument for me to not be last.
I have you higher than that, Mick.
Where do you? Okay.
Well, I did my rankings based on the order of each position of whose position groups I would want, like players I like.
Okay.
But I also factored in draft capital, which you're number 1, obviously, with all those damn picks you got.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that puts you at 4th, actually, on my rankings.
4th? Oh.
Not for 2020, just for Dynasty, like the guys I would like.
Okay, yeah.
So like I took all the position groups, like here's all the quarterbacks, who would I like to have, and ranked them that way, and then did an average.
How close to the mic are you, Ross?
Is it too close?
I don't know.
Just turn that knob just a little bit. The front knob that's glowing green, just turn that slightly counterclockwise.
It's probably with the noise canceling headphones.
Keep going. A little bit more.
Is that good?
Say
a little more?
A little bit more.
How about now?
What do you think?
Can you hear me now?
Same. What?
I think it's
What?
getting slightly
I can't
better.
even hear him now.
Say something.
Can you hear me now? Is it really the same?
Yes, it's same.
This Yeti is broken.
Cody, he just wants to be like Rudy Gobert, so just let him go. All right, just let him go.
So for Dynasty rankings, I am apparently 4th in Ross's world, which is okay with me. Let's move to number 11. At 11, Ross, I'm sorry, but I had you.
Who's the Empire?
That is Steve. I'm assuming you're
my
excited about
God.
his team because I'm excited about his team too. We'll get there eventually.
I know. I'm just trying to figure out right now who I even have ranked where because I don't know I don't know.
All right. So anyway, I have Steve at 11.
Changing your damn names.
He's Kingsman.
Wait, what?
Who's the Empire? That's Steve Mead.
No, you just said who's Kingsman.
Oh, I said Ross is Kingsman.
Oh. Jesus Christ.
And I have him at 11. His quarterbacks are Mahomes, Baker Mayfield, and Tyrod. Running backs aren't good. They're Cohen and Philip Lindsay.
Oh yeah, he got my lowest grade by the way at
He's
running
got
back.
DJ
He did get a
Chark,
1.
Mike Evans, Terry McLaurin, Sutton.
So I'm gonna say that there were only 2 1s given out. So
that's understandable considering neither of them are starters.
So there's 4 categories, right, for each team times 12 teams. So that's 48 grades that were given out. There are 2 1s. That was one was Elliott's tight ends, or the Night's Watch's tight ends, and Kingsman's running backs.
That's impressive, Ross. But your wide receivers, I would, as a group, are the best in the league pretty easily.
But yeah, and so let me flip that to the other side now. How many 5s were given out? And it looks like 4 5s were given out, and one of those was also Ross. So he has a 1 and a 5. So that's very nice work, Ross. That's normally how I build my teams, though I didn't in this league for some reason. I actually had no strategy at all in this league, apparently, compared to any of my other teams. I'm very confused at how my roster ended up. So that is awesome.
Ross kind of took my strategy because his Chark, Terry, well, I guess he only has 3 guys that I usually end up with. But yeah, anyway, it's his running backs that are hurting him a lot, and he doesn't pick 111. He might be able to find a running back, but it's not going to be enough to make up for the difference there. So his quarterbacks are obviously great, but if I was him, I'd sell Mahomes and try to get a running back and a backup, and not necessarily the best quarterback in the league.
I would probably
never hold on to the top tier players because they only have one way to go, and that's down.
So I would tell you, I mean, when I use that strategy, when I play that strategy, quarterbacks and receivers, I mean, I'm usually ending up with a very high pick the next year. I'm punting this season, and then I'm going to hit running backs, next year, and then I'm going to bam, I got 2 stud rookie running backs to go with the rest of this roster, and then I just roll with that.
I mean, if you're okay losing for a year.
Yeah, I mean, but when I use that strategy, that's usually what I do.
I mean, yeah. But then you're also, I don't hate it. I just hate having top tier players on my team, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But, so I have him at 11. Where did you have him?
Okay, so hold on. Ross, where did you have yourself?
Ross, can you hear us?
What happened to Ross? We lost him.
We lost Ross. Yes, Elliot. Let's see. You got Adam's Hawkins, A-Rob. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I would agree with you, Elliot. I like your wide receivers more. Not significantly more, but that's just because I hate old players.
I actually had George Puff, whoever that is. He also got a 5 at wide receiver for me.
With Juju, Michael Thomas, Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
And Christian Kirk. That's not bad.
Yeah, He'll need some guys to hit, but I think long term, I like it very much.
Long term is nice. But Elliott, the reason I like Ross's wide receivers more is because I hate old players in general, and I know Hopkins and Adams aren't old, being 28, but they're a year to 2 years away from being at the age cliff where people don't want to buy them, and it's harder than shit to sell them for anything, and then you're basically stuck with them on your team, which isn't a bad thing. It's just I like to trade, so I want players that people want to trade for. So, but yeah, so I have Ross at 11. Scott has him.
I have Ross at. Hold on.
Debo's 24. Allen is 27, or will be 27 at the start of the season. Ross is our.
I have Ross at 6.
You have at 6?
Yeah.
I can see that.
Because his team, I love his team. He just doesn't have any running backs.
Yeah, he doesn't have any running backs. If as long as Mahomes and Mayfield play up to their potential, which they should, he could very easily finish higher than 11. I just hate that he has a hole.
Yeah.
At running back,
right.
And it's a hard hole to fill.
Does he have any 21 picks?
He has
like his first or second.
He has 111.
21.
Oh, 2021. Yeah, I think he has all of them. I didn't check, but.
Okay, yeah. So, I mean, if things turn out, let's say he hits on somebody at 111, okay? Or even if he moves up a couple spots and grabs somebody and then trades away a 21 first for some serviceable back, right?
Then he could very easily
he could definitely jump in there. Plus, is this 6 teams make the playoffs?
I think so.
Yeah. So if he just gets in, I mean, we know how that goes, man. Anything can happen.
No, for sure. For me, it's just that his running backs are so bad. I wouldn't want to start either of them weekly. And then I had him starting Irv Smith as his second flex, which with the premium isn't bad, but that's 3 players, maybe 4 with Mike Williams as one of his other flexes. That's 3 to 4 players that I wouldn't want to start weekly.
Sure.
I mean, that's how I viewed it. And I know in this league I can't talk because I'm starting fucking Alex Erickson right now, but
I was gonna draft him, by the way. He was on my list, so nice job.
Yeah, got one.
I passed on him like 7 times, but whatever.
All right, so who did you have at 11?
Okay, so at 11 I had the Night's Watch.
The Night's Watch.
So I like his receivers very much. And very solid running backs. But his tight ends were the worst position group in my league by my rankings. Again, I'm using these numbers, so it's not necessarily. I'm trying to utilize that system that I did in the other league because I thought that was just interesting the way it worked out and gave us a nice conversation. So, it just turned out that I like his wide receivers and solid running backs, but I don't like his quarterbacks and his tight ends are. Unless I missed something here, but I'm gonna look really quick. So he doesn't even have like a starting tight end basically.
He has Goddard, is who he's
okay.
Is who he'd be starting.
I mean I love Goddard too, but here's what Philly's doing by all accounts. They're gonna draft a receiver, or bring somebody in, and then Goddard's gonna be like the 4th or 5th receiving option on that team. So I don't. In a tight end premium league,
I could argue that he'd be 3rd or 4th, but
okay. I mean, even so, okay, that's his best tight end.
They're not. It's not going to be enough volume for him to be consistent week in and week out. It's definitely a long-term play. Drafting him.
Oh, I love Goddard long-term. Absolutely.
As your starter, it's not ideal.
But I mean, Jimmy Graham is fucking toast. Okay, Josh Hill, Vance McDonald,
test.
Jordan Reed retired, so I don't know why you have him on a roster, but like
he might come back. The same reason I have.
Right. Okay. The guy's got 72 concussions. He's done.
True.
So I mean,
no, I agree. And his quarterbacks, he does have the 102, so he's probably planning on taking Tua. He should take Tua if he takes.
So and that's
Tua, that's a wasted. It's in this with the Superflex. If you take anyone other than Tua at 102, especially with as big of a hole as he has at quarterback, It's a mistake in my mind.
I'm taking Tua at 101. So
What if Tua gets hurt? Pulls his shoulder throwing practice passes before the draft,
What if
or after the draft.
What if Taylor or Swift get hurt?
Well, I'm just saying, do you think Herbert is a replacement at the 102?
I mean, if
you're saying before
we draft.
Well, yeah, let's just say Herbert gets someone just falls in love and takes him ahead of Tua.
Yeah, I mean, so Herbert, I'm thinking is going Chargers.
If he goes to the Chargers, I can
So
make an argument for taking him over Tua.
if I love that fit, the Chargers. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Tua, to me, like, dude, the dude's fucking impressive. I'll never forget halftime championship, Clemson. Dude comes out of the locker room and just slings it down the field. I mean, he's a stud, no doubt, but he's literally throwing to he had 5 top 50 wide receivers. Like, are you kidding me?
He has 3 that will be more than likely, 2 that will be drafted in the first round, and 1 other that next year is going to be drafted in the first round.
You got 3 guys next year that are all going to get drafted within the top few rounds, plus the 2 this year. And I mean, the running game, the best O-line in college football. So yeah, you put him on the Dolphins now. I mean, did you see that O-line last year? Holy shit. So yeah, I know they're improving, but who's he throwing to? So you're telling me instead of throwing to Judy and Ruggs, he's now throwing to Devontae Parker. Okay.
And Preston Williams and Mike Gesicki.
Okay. Well, Preston Williams once he's healthy, but anyway, okay. So Elliott's taking a quarterback there, most likely.
I mean, he should.
And he can pair him with Rodgers, and now he's got 2 starters, and that definitely helps. That's going to help. And anything can happen with Cam Newton still. So he has upside there. Yeah. But as of right now, as of today, I mean, that's just where we sit.
No, I have him at 9, so not much higher.
So we're not far off there.
No. Pretty much.
Yeah, I have him at 10.
Where do you have Ross 10? Okay.
Yeah, I have him at 10.
Ross, where did you have yourself?
Well, yeah, Ross, obviously my rankings are biased because that's the teams that I want, so I have myself second.
Oof.
Okay. But I have 12 at running back. I just did a straight even average across the position, so I just last minute.
Okay, so Ross, did you hear where I had you?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so I had you just borderline there at 6. And so basically I don't know if you heard before you dropped off there that that's usually the strategy I take building the team the way you did. I love that. And so I love your receivers and your quarterbacks and solid at tight end. And so this season, you could even punt this season and just get yourself a stud running back next year. But if things are going well and you're winning games, if you have those 21 draft picks and you throw away, or you throw out a 21 first and get yourself a starting running back with that, and you hit on somebody with your pick this year, then I think you can definitely get in the playoffs, and I think you can definitely compete. I would not be surprised at all if that happened. So yeah, I've got you as a playoff team as of right now.
I mean, it's definitely a 0 running back strategy. So I need Cohen to catch some passes up there, and
he
Lindsay
will. And he
have Gordon get hurt or something. But
he actually did catch a shitload of passes last year. He just didn't score, and he didn't have any long plays. So yeah, there's positive regression coming for him. So I like that.
But to Elliott's point, I do have him second under the receivers.
No, I can agree with Elliott that his receivers are right up there with yours. I just prefer yours because I don't like old receivers.
Oh, I actually have George Puff. I have his receivers ranked up there with you too.
Yeah, I got him 3rd.
Okay.
Yeah, that's no argument from me at all on that. But so let's see. We had Elliott. You had
all right. So we've
I had Elliott at 9. You had Elliott at 11.
No, I had him at 10. His quarterbacks and tight ends.
Yep.
So we have consensus. We can say consensus. Mick at 12.
Yeah, that's not an argument.
And do we have a consensus at 11 then?
Yeah,
are we gonna go Elliott?
Let's see.
Or who would you make the argument for?
I think the only other team that I have below him is Team 5, but you didn't rank him. So
So I've actually got two teams down towards tied at the bottom.
Okay, who's that, Ross?
That would be Run CMC and Junior, just because they have zero draft capital.
Okay.
But
there is no improvements coming after this draft.
Yeah, so I think you're right. So I have Run CMC like kind of in the middle of the pack, but he's in solid. But yeah, I think other teams will jump over him when they infuse that draft capital. So that makes perfect sense.
And I have both of them in the playoffs, but that's just for this season.
So I had Run CMC ended up with a 12 rating. Remember, like 20 is the highest, which is pretty much impossible. You can't have all fives across the board. But so at 12, the average score was 12, right? So I had a 15, 2 14s, 2 13s, shitload of 12s, and a 10 and a 9. So Run CMC was one of the 12s, and I gave him a 4 at quarterback, a 4 at running back, and a 2 at wide receiver, and a 2 at tight end. And so without any of that draft capital to improve those positions, and those are the two positions that take the longest to improve. So even if he had a pick, it may not be an immediate effect anyway. Usually tight ends and wide receivers don't have an immediate impact.
No, generally they don't.
So regardless.
I have him second at running back, and then 11 receiver, 12 tight end, and 11 draft capital. So.
Okay.
You need Christian McCaffrey to carry your team again.
Well, I think Kyler and Hill will help him with that. Overall, I had him at 4, just because the team that he has, it's well-rounded right now, as of right now.
Yeah.
It's not an amazing team. It's not a bad team, but it's well-rounded. And if some of the guys, like Geis, Sony, Steven Sims, O.J. Howard, Curtis Samuel, if they do what they have the potential to do, and if CMC and Kyler also hit their potential, I could see him winning this league easily. Not necessarily easily, but he could compete. I mean, all those guys are still young and have the potential to have breakout seasons in my mind.
I'd be a little surprised because that's a lot of guys that Sony Michel, just I don't know. I love that dude in college, but he is a guy that yuck.
He's fine.
Well, those receivers are going to need some consistency.
So that's the volatility is going to come in. He's going to have some of those weeks. He's going to have those 200-point weeks.
Oh yeah.
Definitely when he has Hilton and Hill and Curtis Samuel, James Washington. I mean, he could have guys just boom, 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 blowing up 60, 80-yard touchdowns. And that'll boost his score. I think he could be kind of a boom bust type team.
I think he'd be right there. I definitely don't think I'd put him underneath the Night's Watch, to be honest. And the juniors team.
Oh, I wouldn't.
Juniors team for me, I had juniors team 3rd, because it's a well-rounded team. It's older and he has 0 draft capital, but right now it's well-rounded. He has Cousins and Jimmy G. They're solid at quarterback. They're definitely not great. I definitely wouldn't have taken Jimmy G in the 2nd round, but they're not going to kill the team either. Running back, he's got Saquon and Drake, James White, and Mark Ingram.
Yeah, I like his running back.
Can't really.
That's strong. That's a 4 for me.
That's not bad. Strong. It's not going to hurt.
Yeah, I got him at 3.
Wide receivers. What?
Oh, I was just saying, I got him at 3 at running backs. Yeah. I mean, we just all obviously did our rankings differently. So you're looking at 2020 Mick. Yeah. Scott didn't include any draft capital, and I'm looking at, who I'd want going forward. So
yeah.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, we can kind of make that's actually good that we did it that way, because then we can kind of mix that all together and see how it comes out. But his quarterbacks are solid, right? He gets a score of a 3 for that. They're going to come out every week, get you your points. They're not really going to have any big games, most likely, but good high floor. Okay, mm-hmm. And then running backs too. Good, again, strong, nice floor for the team. But does he have that upside? I mean,
unless Saquon and Drake are both playing at the top of their games, like what Saquon was doing in his rookie year and Drake was doing at the end of this year, that's the only spot I see.
I mean, that's fine, but Randall Cobb, Julian Edelman, Larry Fitzgerald, those guys are going to get like
But he's not
6
relying on
points
those guys.
every game.
He's got weekly. He'll be playing Cousins, Jimmy G, Saquon, Drake, John Brown, Kenny G, Cooper Kupp, Tyler Lockett, James White, Mark Ingram, and Hooper. That'd be the lineup that I would set for him weekly. Now, granted, that's as long as he doesn't have any injuries
or trades, because that's his lineup this week. Next week, who knows?
Next week, tomorrow.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, to me, his tight ends are going to be his Achilles heel, because as much as we know how good Hooper was last year, he's going to a new offense right now, and I think people are not taking into account this whole offseason thing where they're not able to work together. I don't see. I think Hooper's going to be a huge disappointment this year.
Yeah, there's regression coming for sure with Hooper.
Big time.
I think any receiver that changes teams this offseason is going to regress. That includes Hopkins.
And you have to think OBJ is going to get, if assuming he's healthy and whatever, and then you still have Jarvis Landry and you still have Hunt and Chubb. I mean, I think Hooper may be the fourth, maybe the third option at best, but probably more like the fourth option. And Njoku's going to be involved too, because they run a 12 personnel system, so they're going to have 2 tight ends. And
Hooper's a better blocker than Njoku, so
yeah, and so he may be blocking for Chubb, and it'll be Njoku running those routes. So I think Hooper, I'm trying to sell him everywhere I can, to be honest with you.
Yeah, plus you can't trust Fat Baker. I mean, is he gonna improve from last year, or he's kind of a wild card right now. So all those pass catchers could be the same as last year, or even get worse possibly. I don't know.
Yeah, it's I do not trust that whole scenario. So I think that ultimately will be his Achilles heel. But anytime you have elite talent like Barkley, you got a shot.
Agreed. Where did you have him, Scott?
So he was one of the 12s. So
right in the middle. Okay.
3, 4, 5. I had 5 teams that scored 12. And so basically those teams are all kind of interchangeable, and it's really more like where I would lean personally, so to me, I would have him out of the playoffs just a little bit. So he'd be like 7 or 8 for me. 7 probably.
Yeah. For me, I kept changing around teams 4 through 8 about 5 different times. Because obviously you had 4 12s? Or 5 12s?
2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah.
Yeah. So I had 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I had probably the same 5 teams that I was switching back and forth. So I think, are we in agreement then that we can put the Night's Watch at 11?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So then that's me and the Night's Watch. At 10, I had Team 5. But Ross, you didn't rank, or Scott, you didn't rank him. Am I correct?
Yeah, I mean, he ended up with a 12 basically. So he got 3s across the board. He's like the most average team. He's like the average. He's like the baseline. Like if you're better than him, you're in good shape, and if you're worse than him, well then
shit. But interestingly, 3 of the teams that I had 8 or lower all had multiple first-round picks. And he was one of them. He has 104 and 109. So
yeah, let me look at that really quick and see.
Yeah, I've got him at 5 up there because he does have that draft capital coming in. I think his receivers are lacking. I've got him at 12 in receivers.
Yeah, I didn't love. The reason I have him at 10 is obviously Lamar is great, but I think he's going to regress. And Teddy B isn't fantastic, and he doesn't really, unless you want to trust Jared Stidham, he doesn't have a third quarterback, which to me is a big weakness. And actually, there's quite a few teams that don't have a third quarterback. At running back, he's got Eckler and Fournette. That's solid. But then wide receiver, he's really the only guy that I want to play weekly is Keenan. After that, he's got Marquise Brown, Alshon Jeffrey, Mecole Hardman. That's about it.
I will say though, Marvin Jones, like guys like that, those are those home run hitters that when you have a bunch of flex spots and you plug them in, like if he's rolling Fournette and Eckler and Lamar Jackson and Bridgewater, that's like a really high floor. And so like having that high floor is nice. And then Brown, Hardman, Marvin Jones, plug those dudes in. They could all you need is one of those guys to hit, 20-point week, and that's going to put you in, because then he has Kittle too. Don't forget. So you have two of the elite players in the game, and especially with this tight end premium, Lamar Jackson and George Kittle are going to slay. And then with that 104 and 109, he's going to add two more really, really nice pieces. There's a clear break. I think it's looking to me like if you got a top 10 pick this year, you're going to be in really, really good shape, because there's basically 3 running backs, 3 receivers, and 4 quarterbacks, or you could switch a quarterback and running back depending on landing spots. But he's going to add 2 elite, or not necessarily elite, but 2 strong pieces that are going to produce most likely right away. So I think he actually has, even though he's kind of the average baseline, his upside is massive. So I can definitely see him making a run.
But you can't with my team? I'm insulted.
You should be.
Insulted.
Yeah, I've got Cody 5th in my rankings.
I am. Just because you hate. I can see that. I mean, I have him at 10, but I could just as easily have put him at 7 or 8. Like I said, I moved around those middle tier teams quite a bit.
I mean, those 2 first-round picks in this draft class could vault you up pretty good if you hit them.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
104, it's a good pick, but 109, I have 3 of the picks right in front of him, so he's not getting a good player. Well, he's getting a good player there, but I have confidence in my drafting ability, and he's not going to get a player he wants. So he.
Well, if you think, I mean, do we agree that Herbert's going to be like a top 6, top 8 pick?
In theory, he should be
first round.
I think there are 10 guys. I'm telling you, there's going to be 10 because
you think there's 10 because there's 3 quarterbacks, or for me, there's 3 quarterbacks. I wouldn't.
There could be 4 if somebody jumps up for like Love or Hurts.
You have up there that I don't is Hurst.
Yeah.
What?
So you're going to have I think you could have 4 running backs or 4 quarterbacks, but you have 3 of each. That's 9, and you're going to have a 4th. So,
I think there's 4 quarterbacks, 3 wide receivers, and 4 running backs. So that's 8.
I mean, to me,
12.
there's not, because I don't like Ruggs. I won't have Ruggs anywhere.
It's not Ruggs up there.
So not even in your living room?
No, absolutely not. I will not have Ruggs anywhere, ever. I guess I shouldn't say ever, because I may have a team build here that when you're in like 50 leagues, I mean, eventually you have some team that could fit that. But I just don't. If you look at all of his metrics, you're betting against history. And so I'm not going to use a first round pick to bet against history. I just don't do that. So unless I have a totally stacked team and I'm just like, hey, let's shoot for the moon, I may do it in that case. But
Ruggs and Reader.
At the end of the day, 10 you're going to have 10 players.
So the bottom line is 109 is going to be a really solid pick.
Exactly. Exactly. Yes. That's the point here. Okay, so who's our other candidate then for 10?
For 10? You probably have George Puff higher than I do. Yeah. Who do you have at 10?
I have Ross. Who do you have?
I have the Night's Watch, but I have Run CMC and Junior below. So those guys are kind of right in the same.
Which I think me and Scott both agreed should be a little bit higher than 10.
Okay, so
I have George Puff at 8.
Yeah.
Ross is at 11 for me, so we could argue that.
Wow. Why? Because the running backs?
Yeah, because of the running backs. But I'm only basing it off of where I think they're going to finish this season.
Ross, what picks do you have?
He has 111 and 202, I believe.
Yeah, 111, 202, 209, 210.
Okay.
So he could 111 conceivably could be Keyshawn Vaughn, and then like,
Yeah, you're gonna add a running back there for
Zach
sure.
Moss.
And you'll be able to trade for
which
one.
might fill that running back hole for this year.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's all you're talking about one player. He's one player away from competing.
Gesicki's going to continue to do what he did last year, and that Mike Williams is going to be a starter week in and week out with a rookie quarterback or with Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah, I just
see there's a lot of regression that could happen between Mike Evans, Sutton, DJ Chark, Terry McLaurin.
You don't talk bad about my Sutton.
Not that I want it to happen. Honestly, of his wide receivers, Sutton is my least favorite.
What?
He's actually my least favorite too, but I had to get one share of him somewhere.
Yes, I love him. He was my favorite receiver in that class.
He was my favorite receiver. No, he wasn't, because DJ Moore.
DJ Moore, yeah, DJ Moore.
He was my number 2, but it was very close, very close. I love DJ Moore, but
he's like prototypical wide receivers.
DJ Moore.
Well, just for reference, in this league, last year's numbers, Philip Lindsay was running back 19 and Cohen was running back 21.
Well, that was without Gordon.
Okay.
Well, Eckler had Gordon last year.
Well, yeah, but Eckler also had Phillip Rivers checking the ball.
I'm going to tell you that historically, so Pat Shurmur is one of the OCs that I'm writing up right now. I'm actually, instead of just finishing like one coordinator at a time, I've been kind of focusing on different categories and then doing a bunch of them. So anyway, Pat Shurmur is like one of my favorite OCs for fantasy. So I've been buying Broncos everywhere. And he really prefers to have a bell cow. He really wants to use Melvin Gordon as that guy. And he's going to mix in Lindsay, no doubt. But the thing is, I think ultimately at the end of the day, there's a reason Lindsay was undrafted. He's small, man. And so, yeah, he's held up and he's definitely proved me wrong. I will be the first to admit it, for him to hold up in back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, and good for him. But like ultimately, you can't give him a full workload. So they're disappointed with Freeman. So they brought in Gordon and they want him to be the man. And I think honestly, it could end up being more like 80-20, 70-30, like at most. Like historically, that's how he runs his system, Shurmur. So he wants Gordon to have at least 70%, if not more, of those touches. So Lindsay's going to be very efficient, and he'll be a great flex or bye week guy. But my ultimate point here with this is all you need is one running back to come in and be, if you can hit on one guy, then either Lindsay or Cohen can be that number 2 for you just fine. There's no reason they can't be the 2 with the rest of your team, how good it is. So I really think that a lot of these teams, and after a startup, that's typically how it is. You're going to have holes in different areas, but really you just have one. Just one thing. You just need one thing. You're one thing away from competing. So
yeah, I really didn't want to draft Lindsay. I think I wanted to get another wide receiver when Lindsay was on there, but I was like, man, I only have one running back. I probably need a second one.
I would have gone with another wide receiver if that was your choice, but
yeah,
I mean, I'm like Scott though. I've bet against Lindsay both years. I was a Freeman truther, and he's proved me wrong. So I was like, you know what? You never know if Gordon gets hurt. Maybe, who knows?
Well, yeah, and then there's that angle too. He's a premium handcuff. So I mean, definitely, I don't. With the strategy you used, he's exactly the type of guy I would have, and I mean, yeah. So I'm just saying you're one spot away from competing. So I would have you closer to that upside, that closer to the top than the bottom. So I have you at 6, and I could go either way on that, but I can't go to 10.
All right.
Yeah, well, Junior just offered me Saquon, so I think I got it.
Yeah, he offered me Saquon too.
He probably wants half your team, so.
So let's see. Cody said, y'all don't think Stidham is a third quarterback. No, I don't, because Brian Hoyer is going to start and he's going to light it the fuck up. And it's going to be like that Matt Castle year where they go like 10-6 and Hoyer's going to be the man, dude. He's going to be a redraft king. Like in all our draft, I'm going to take him in like the 15th round and he's going to be insane, dude. And N'Keal Harry's going to be like the number 8 receiver and Edelman will be like the number 4 receiver. and it's just going to be nuts, man. Watch Hoyer, the Destroyer.
Possible. I know. Even if Hoyer isn't the starter,
It's not possible, man. Jesus Christ.
Hey, Kaser stamps that one. He likes it.
That was a Kaser take.
Even if Stidham is the starter, he's not the starter long term.
Stidham is very cerebral, and he's the type of guy that fits that system. The pick made perfect sense, and I like the fit in their system. I just don't. I don't think that, like, if they had LeGarrette Blount or Corey Dillon or, you know, those pounders that they had back in the day, that's going to carry that team and they're going to run play action off of that. Like, I can see that fit. But Michelle, I don't know. He must have knee issues or something. I loved him in college. I really did. But he's just not good for whatever reason. And I think it's probably health, but I don't see the Patriots like working off of that. So,
and they don't. Back when in that Castle year, they had legitimate deep threats to stretch the field and allow the running backs to just pound the ball.
They opened up the field. They had a beast running game. They had a badass defense. Like, yeah, they just don't have any of that. So, I mean, trust me, Bill will find a way. They'll be competitive, but fantasy-wise, like, I think Stidham could definitely win games in the NFL. I just don't think he's going to do anything for your fantasy team. Now, I have like 6 shares of him, so I mean, trust me, I hope he does. I just don't think he will.
So, is that a landing spot for either Jameis or Cam?
It should be.
It should be, but I don't think they will.
God, could you imagine if Bill said, you know what, Bruce Arians, you couldn't do it with Jameis, so you're going to take Tom Brady, and then I'm going to take your boy Jameis, and I'm going to beat your ass with him. I could totally see Bill doing that. Cam is not a fit. Personality-wise, Cam is a piece of shit, and he will.
Well, where is Cam a fit?
He isn't a fit anywhere. He's a piece of shit. Nobody wants him. Yeah.
And the problem is with his injury, the shoulder injury that he is recovering from, without being doctors and physical therapists being able to get their hands on it and know what that joint's doing. This was explained to me by physical therapists because my wife's an OT and I talked to them because I was like, what is this actually a thing? Without being able to actually feel the joint move and know what it's doing yourself, you can never be fully confident in it. Because apparently when you're feeling it, you can feel things that you just, as yourself, you know what it needs to be doing and what it's doing. And the way he explained it was much better than that. But
yeah, it makes sense. And I mean, the thing is, he couldn't throw before that. He sucks, dude. Like, so
he's not a good pocket passer.
He's not a passer. He's a thrower, but he's not a passer. And so now he can't throw and he can't run. So what the hell is he going to do? And he's not a leader. Nobody wants to play for that dude. So why are you going to bring him in?
Well, that's because he's got a 5 on your scale of confidence. You know, he wears those hats. He's got the confidence. It's all there, you know.
Those are great memes, though.
Winston.
Little Riding Hood one or whatever. That one's fucking hilarious.
That's not going to happen, but it would be a good fit.
Junior suggested Jameis Winston to San Francisco.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, you better hope not, because Jimmy G's your savior. So
it would be a good fit for Winston, but I don't think it's going to happen just because they just gave Jimmy G $16 million a year for a couple of years or something like that. It was more than that, wasn't it?
I'll look up his deal, but I don't know. I can see. I know a lot of people keep saying like the Steelers or whatever, and yeah, that would be awesome. Go play behind Ben, and if his shoulder doesn't work out, dude, Jameis in that system would be awesome. But guess what, guys? The Steelers have no cap room to sign anybody. So guess what? They're not doing it. Not doing it. So Jimmy G actually had he has 19.9 million dead cap for this year, so he's not going anywhere. Trust me. Now next year he has 2.8 cap that drops down, so he could definitely get cut next year. But this year, he's the guy. He's not going anywhere.
There's some quarterbacks coming 2021 too. So, if Jameis or Cam doesn't find a landing spot here, it's going to be rough going for them as a franchise guy anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, but back to the discussion of the league. So who do you think we should who would you make an argument for putting at 10? Ross, who do you have at
10? Once again, the Night's Watch.
Okay.
No. Right, who do you have at
9?
At 9, I actually have a tie at 8 with Lord Chicken McDicken and the Dealer.
All right, I could get behind putting Scott at 10. I have him at 7. Where do you have yourself, Scott?
I have myself at, I should probably write these down. So 12, hold on, 12, 11, 8.
You're at 8? Okay, so I think we can get behind that then. Because who do you have at 9?
So I have hold on. I'm ahead of. Yeah, actually, so I'm really, really close with Dustin and Cody.
Cody being
which
team 5?
Which Cody?
Sorry, franchise 5.
Okay.
I think my team's better than his right now, but he has more upside. Because remember, I still have the 101.
This is true.
So I'm going to be doing something with that.
That's true. You need
probably going to be opening a wildlife zoo in Oklahoma.
That would be the ideal scenario, but you know how things work.
I could. Okay, so I think it's between you.
So wait, you think Junior? Hold on, where's my other number 12? Oh, Run CMC. So let's compare then. Let's compare Dustin and myself then. Dealer and myself.
Okay. At quarterback, I give the nod to you slightly because I don't trust Tannehill. And you also have an actual third quarterback as well as that 101, which I'm just going to assume is Joe.
Big Ben finished third overall 2 years ago. Third overall quarterback. So, I mean, I don't expect that. So
as long as
but if he's healthy, he's going to
be more than capable as your third.
Yes.
At running back, I'm going to give you the nod. Oh, never mind. He has.
No, I have his
the dealer. Back. The dealer takes that one, I think.
I have myself quarterbacks. I have his running backs. I have his wide receivers.
I think you guys are neck and neck on wide receivers.
Yeah, I think it's close. He's probably a little bit better.
I don't like either of your wide receivers.
The thing is, I don't like any of his wide receivers, but that doesn't mean that I'm right. I just don't like that. I just don't prefer them.
I would think yours. I think yours have more upside.
Yeah, Scott, I gave you an 8, and I gave the dealer a 9 on wide receivers.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, that's
neck and neck.
The spot that I think he really beats you is that tight end spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has Mark Andrews. I mean, so him having Mark Andrews is a significant advantage over whoever I would start at tight end, right? But depth-wise, like I have so many guys that all I need is one of them. All I need is one to hit. Okay, and it's not going to compete with Mark Andrews. But what I'm saying is, one injury,
and he's not. I mean,
he has nothing. He has absolutely nothing. So
he has Hoyer the Destroyer, like he just mentioned in the chat. We forgot to count for that.
Yes, he does.
But this is where the 101 can make a big difference because he doesn't have a first this year.
No, he doesn't.
Adding to that,
and his third quarterback is Hoyer, and his backup tight end is Dawson Knox, which Dawson Knox long term, I don't want to start him this year though. So I can just going off of starting lineup, I prefer yours to his, and then you add in the depth that you have that he doesn't. So yeah,
and the 101. Yeah. So I'd have to put in. I'd have to be slightly ahead of him. As much as he's ahead of me in AFFA, I'm ahead of him here. We are exact opposites. That's what I would say.
I can get behind that. Who can afford? I can afford it. I can afford whatever I want, Steve. I have 5 first-round picks. I can get what I want. It might destroy my team, but I can do it. But yeah, I can get behind having the dealer at 10. So then at 9, would we put Scott?
I mean, I haven't exactly tied.
Or do you have someone underneath you?
Yeah, that works.
Yeah. All right.
So nine is Dustin and 8 is me. So Dustin, like, we're gonna have an arms race in the other.
Who is at 10?
Then we're gonna have an arms race here to get into the playoffs. Except I'm not trying to make the playoffs, so I don't care.
Who do we have at 10?
At 10, I guess, would be Dustin, and then myself would be 9, right?
Dustin, and then you're at 9?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. So then, Ross, let's hear your 8.
Well, my 8 was a tie with
or was one of them your 8?
And the dealer. Yeah, they were both tied with 8. But again, I have Run CMC.
So who did you have at 9?
Below you guys.
Okay.
They're tied at 8. Night's Watch at 10, and then tied for 11 is Run CMC and Junior. On my
okay, so let's look at Run CMC then. So we talked about his team. It's good quarterback and running back, but no wide receivers or tight ends, and he has no draft capital. So I think that hurts. That hurts, and I think teams are going to jump over him.
Looking at it now, I could see putting him down at 10.
We got to find someone to be number 10 for Mick. He's losing his mind over here.
So because my 101 will jump over, and I think
just looking at his team
is stronger across the board.
Yeah.
So would you put Run CMC at 10 and then Dustin?
Really, the only thing that is holding his team up for me is Kyler CMC.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
Okay. So.
Yep.
Run CMC is 10.
Where is Run CMC at anyways? He should be, throwing back a 6 back in the 10. Chat right now.
Dealer is 9. You're so we're up to 7 right now.
Yes.
Which let's look at Junior's team then. I'll
be right back.
Don't think that's not a 7th place team. That's a playoff contender in my eyes. I know it's long term, it's not. And if he has 1 or 2 injuries, he's fucked. But
hey, are we sure that Scott's coming back?
I did
the same thing during the draft.
I can't get behind putting him. He'll be back.
He might be closing the deal.
I can't put Junior not in the playoffs. I know long term his team. He could be. He said he'd be right back. Who do you have at? So the dealer and Dustin.
So my bottom 5
and we're tied at 8 for you.
So from 8 to 12, I have.
Ross?
I think I'm on a delay. I'm hearing you. I think I'm delayed over here. But I've got Scott and Dustin tied at 8. Then I got Elliott at 10. And then I've got Josh and Junior tied at 11. It's just the draft capital, man. I mean,
okay, so who was your 7?
7 would be Skull Chef.
Yeah. Oh, I get that. Oh, what the shit. Now I can't hear you.
I think it's just a big delay.
A little bit. Who did you have at 7?
Skull Chef.
Skull Chef. I had him much higher.
I love his running
His
backs.
base just off this year. Let's figure out who Scott. Scott, who did you have at 7?
Okay, so franchise 5.
He needed more. Franchise 5 you had at 7?
Yeah.
And I had him 10. Teddy, Lamar. Yeah, I can get behind him being 7. What do you think, Ross? Any objections?
To franchise 5 at 7?
Yeah.
No, I had him right in that area. I had him
Wow.
at 5, but
Yeah.
some difference.
I mean, those teams are really close.
Yeah, it's
You know?
splitting hairs, honestly. I think we could flip him and Junior and put Junior at 7 and him at 6 just because of the draft capital Team 5
So
has.
yeah, I think that's true. And Junior doesn't really have any tight ends, and I think that's ultimately going to
No,
hurt. So
and he doesn't have a backup quarterback.
yeah, so yeah, I think if that's our playoff teams, top 6 there, then I'm going to put Junior 7, and I will put Cody 6.
I'm good with that. So now we're in our top 5. Ross, let's hear your number 5.
Playoff team, Cody, and number 5. Ross, who do you have at number 5?
I've got franchise 5 there.
Okay, who is your number 6 then?
That would be Metal Militia. But I also had Skull Chef 7, so I'm guessing they're right in the same range.
I have Skull Chef higher than that, but I have Metal Militia.
Oh yeah, I have Skull Chef there too. I have him at 5 exactly.
Yeah, I'm at 5. I have Metal Militia at 6.
I think his long-term outlook is not so great.
Metal Militias? No.
No.
Skull Chefs?
Yeah, but Skull Chef, yeah. Not a great. But this year he's a playoff team.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So pretty solid across the board. Nice running backs. Good veteran quarterbacks, but he may only get a year or two out of them. He really needs Gardner Minshew to come through and be a long-term starter, but otherwise, solid. And so I would have Skull Chef at 5.
So here's a question regarding Skull Chef. Do you think he likes Dalvin better because he's a Viking or because his last name is Cook?
Definitely Cook. The Vikings just a bonus.
Probably the Viking. Yeah. I have Skull Chef quite a bit higher, personally.
Do you? So when you look at his draft
behind Skull Chef.
So he has his highest
just
pick is
because
23. So he's not getting probably anything out of this draft class. So, I mean, I think he has a very strong. I mean, listen, even if he has Breeze and Rivers, I mean, Rivers is toast, but he's still going to give you something this year. So say Breeze, Rivers, even Fitzpatrick, Minshew, he's going to be able to plug in 2 guys every week out of that. So whatever. Yeah. It's not going to be super high upside, but it's points. It's good, solid points. And then Cook and Chubb, honestly, I don't really think there's a better pairing in the league. I mean, McCaffrey and Barkley are better, but nobody has both of them, right? So
I think he's number 1 there.
So I love them, and I have Nick Chubb. I'm a big Matt Waldman guy, so Nick Chubb is his number 1 ranked running back of all the prospects he's done, including Barkley. And so I also agree. I love Nick Chubb. So I probably like him better than most, and I know Hunt kind of took his receptions there at the end of last season, but for this year and long term, Cook and Chubb is a nice combo. I wish he had gotten Madison. So that's a little unfortunate. But I think, and I'm not a big handcuff guy, but I think it's absolutely necessary with Cook to have Madison. So I think Cody should definitely be trying to make a trade there. And then wide receiver.
What do you make of Devontae Parker? Yeah, I mean he's a wild card for me.
I love his wide receivers. Maybe not long term, but
dude, Woods and Crowder are going to be a nice floor every week. Julio's still a beast. Djax is kind of that home run hitter. I think Kenny Stills could even be that this year. Just kind of have some spike games. So it's a nice crew. It's a very solid crew. And then obviously Kelsey is an absolute animal. So it's actually, kind of looking at this again.
For me, I have him at 2.
Yeah, I think maybe he needs to be a little higher.
For this season only, I have him at 2. Even next year, he could be completely rebuilding because 2 of his quarterbacks could be retired. Julio could be toast.
Well, Rivers is going to be toast for sure.
Yeah.
I think Breeze is going to do 2 more years. Unless they win the Super Bowl, he might ride out on top. But otherwise, Dalton, Fitzpatrick, those guys are probably done. Brissett's probably permanent backup. And so, Minshew, I mean, honestly, I would not be shocked if Jaguars just tank this season and try to get, one of the, Justin Fields or Trevor Lawrence next year. I honestly would not be surprised at all. So, he could be without a quarterback, and I know how much that hurts in Superflex, having lost luck in literally half my leagues last year. So, it can definitely crush your team. But for this year, he's definitely I
think Metal Militia should be at 5 and not Skull Chef.
And see, I have him a lot higher.
I've got Metal Militia at 6.
So let me because the only thing is with him, let me see his draft capital really quick. Yeah, so he
doesn't have any.
He has a bunch of he has 201, 203.
He has some seconds, which in this draft matter.
That's 13, 15. He's going to find 2 nice players there.
But he 2021 first. I know that much.
So Brady and Locke. Yikes. He has Madison, Mixon, and Jacobs. I like that. Marlon Mack's getting replaced, as I've talked about on literally every podcast I've ever been on and every article I've ever written. Even if it's not about him, I still think it's happening.
Do it what?
Marlon Mack.
What's happening?
Replaced. Marlon Mack. Bye.
Oh yeah, Marlon Mack.
Bye, Marlon Mack. Okay.
He has Josh Jacobs, Joe Mixon.
Okay, so
Godwin. He's got Godwin, DK Metcalf, N'Keal Harry.
Sterling Shepard's there.
D.D. Westbrook, Albert. Oh my God, Albert Wilson.
Yep.
He's number 1, dude. He's number 1. Okay, we're moving this dude down.
His tight ends are pretty solid though.
Unbelievable. So for some reason, okay, here's what happened. He got a 15 score. Okay, for me, because his receivers
the highest score.
Yeah, because his tight ends, dude, he doesn't need the receivers. He can play 3 tight ends.
He can play 3 tight ends.
Yeah.
This is his starting lineup for me. Is Brady, Locke, Josh Jacobs, Joe Mixon, Chris Godwin, DK Metcalf, N'Keal Harry, Hunter Henry, Fant, Higbee, and then Marlon Mack.
Absolutely. And I would even N'Keal Harry sucks, so I would put in literally anybody else. But I
think that's one too many starters there, Mick.
Okay, so throw out Harry. That's fine. You have 2.
Well, you got to throw out Mack because you need 3 receivers.
Throw out Mack and then put
Harry or Shepard. So,
well, okay, Godwin, Metcalf, and Shepard or Westbrook, maybe even John Ross. I mean, who knows what'll happen this year? But okay, fine, whatever. His 3rd receiver is weak, and that's why I have him as a 2 for receivers. I don't like his receivers at all. But those tight ends, dude, at 1.75. Henry, Higbee, and Fant, are you kidding me? Holy shit. Hey, that's better than a 3rd receiver. That's better than most people's 3rd receiver.
Oh, it's way better than most people say receiver.
If you put those three guys in, and the two, and I do like Jacobs and Mixon a lot, and I think they're going to be high floor guys too, even if Jacobs still doesn't catch a ton of passes. And Mixon, you saw what he could do at the end of last year when his lineman came back healthy. And now you're talking about Burrow and AJ Green coming back. I mean, dude, yeah. So
yeah, he's just Godwin, DK Metcalf, and then the hot hand for his third receiver.
Mm-hmm. And he at 201, he could easily get like a Denzel Mims or someone.
Absolutely, 201 and 203. He's got two shots right there to get a third receiver.
I mean, you were getting AJ Brown and Debo at 201
exactly
last year. So
exactly. So
last year wasn't supposed to be a good class. This year is supposed to be an amazing class. So
I think Brady can be serviceable and lock step up. Actually, if you look at PFF's projection for Tom Brady for this year, it's pretty nice. He's very solid, like high end 2. And if Drew Lock can step up and even be a number 2, then honestly, that's why I had him as the highest ranked team for this year, because of those tight ends. That's huge.
Yeah, Brady and Locke are going to be good because you got Mike Evans and Cortland Sutton, probably both pushing for 20 touchdowns. So,
well, and he's got the Locke Fant connection, and then think about Cortland Sutton, and if they add somebody else like a Ruggs or a Higgins or whoever, and then Gordon and Phillip Lindsay can both catch passes out of the backfield. I'm telling you, I'm writing that Pat Shermer article, and it's all lining up for Locke to have a nice year. So I can
see it for sure.
And then even like, it seems stupid, but like Raekwon Armstead and Alexander Madison, I mean, both of those guys are one snap away from being a number 1 running back.
That was a good pun there. That ankle snap.
Exactly. So seriously, one snap away, Madison is instantly a number 1 running back. So he can definitely have some depth there. And I honestly think Madison and Armstead are both going to get – Raekwon Armstead's going to get some run in Jay Gruden's offense. He likes to have 2 running backs. So it may not be Armstead. It might be somebody else. But as of right now, we'd have to assume it's him. So I'm really making the argument for him for this dude's team to be higher than number 5.
Okay, so who would you put at 5? You'd have Skullchef at 5?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I can agree with that. Because Skullchef's going to be starting Mostert and probably Crowder, or Kenny Stills and Crowder weekly.
Mm-hmm.
Where Metal Militia will be starting Fant and Higbee, which with the 0.75 will score more than that. For me, it's just for both of them, it's their quarterbacks is why they're where they're at. For me.
Well, and I'll take the consistency of Brady and the upside of Locke. Over Toast.
Okay, I can get behind that. And Metal Militia possibly at 4.
So, okay, wait, where did we have Ross then? He would be in this mix, right? He would definitely be in this mix because his quarterbacks are better. Obviously, he has a clear advantage over both teams. His receiver has a clear advantage, but tight ends are probably right in there. But running backs are way, way behind. So
I think
how you value those positions, right?
I think Skullchef's wide receivers are close because you're only, I mean,
so I have Skullchef at 10. I think Metal Militia's receivers are better than Skullchef.
Well, that's because you're valuing youth. I'm not taking youth into account at all for this season. Obviously, I prefer Metal Militias because he has Godwin and DK. But Julio, Parker, and Woods are going to outscore Godwin, DK, and Harry.
I mean, I just think Parker was an outlier season last year.
I think it was him.
Totally agree. It was a perfect storm. There was nobody else to throw to. Fitzpatrick was slinging it. They couldn't run the ball, so they had to throw. It was perfect storm. Everybody needs to be selling Devontae Parker in all their leagues right now.
I'd buy. Because people like you are thinking that he's a sell.
Well, you had your chance in AFA, but I sold him for Juju and Amari Cooper. Thank you very much.
That's ridiculous. That was.
Wait, what was that trade?
I traded.
It's fine.
What's his name? Your boy,
Is this recent?
Yeah, a couple weeks ago I traded. Well, it was before Mick and I did the trade at XPod. It was right before that.
Okay.
So it was a couple. It was a while ago now. But I traded Devontae Parker, Keenan Allen, and Dustin's 21 first. Or no, my 21 first. I still have Dustin's. So Parker, Allen, 21 first for Amari Cooper and Juju.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't just Parker for Keenan.
So
That's why I was like, wait, what a minute. Okay.
Dude, on age alone, I mean, geez.
But Parker, I don't think was an outlier. He just, yes, he's not going to be a wide receiver 1 again. I don't think, but wide receiver 2 is definitely in his range of outcomes. I think as long as he can stay healthy, which has been his major bugaboo throughout his career, health, and that he was in Adam Gase's doghouse for whatever reason. Who knows what that reason was, but I don't think granted, yes, it took him 6 years to do it, but he's shown flashes before. It's not like he just came out of nowhere and did it.
Yeah, I have always liked Parker, but what do you think about Preston Williams then?
I think he's coming back from an ACL injury.
Okay.
They also have a lot of first-round picks to take a receiver.
And he has 0 draft capital.
Mm-hmm.
Which I get that he should have been drafted higher, and it was his off-the-field issues that caused him not to be. But and I know you shouldn't take that into account, but teams do. He didn't have any draft capital. They don't have much invested in him. They just gave Parker a big contract, and they're probably going to draft a wide receiver in the first or second round of this year. So he could end up being the wide receiver on the team when he comes back from his injury.
Well, Preston Williams is on the block. So there you go.
Makes you buying.
Anybody that can buy, throw me an offer. Preston Williams on the block. So is Odell Beckham. Come get them. Both of them. Let's go.
All right. So I think let's put Ross at 5, I think, just because of his.
He's at 5, but
he could
one spot and he's 2 or 3. You know what I mean?
And then Skull at 4. Metal Militia at 3. Is that what we're saying?
Well, Mickey, you have Junior up there, don't you?
Let's think about that for a second.
I do. I have Junior at.
Well, we put Junior at 7.
Yeah, we put Junior at 7.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's down.
So who's left?
For me, Steve.
Okay.
Steve. Who else is left? Metal Militia.
George
Geez, I
Puff.
was looking at the wrong damn teams this whole goddamn time. When I was making that whole argument for Metal Militia, I thought that was Steve.
No. Steve's is Dak, Watson, Aaron Jones, Gurley, Carson, Boyd, AJ Brown, Gallup, Hurts, Ingram, Slayton.
Yeah, I have the Empire number 1 by a pretty clear margin.
Me too. Yeah.
I have him. To me, that was a clear number 1. I didn't.
Oh yeah. All right. Wow, look at that.
His quarterbacks are Dak and Watson. There's not a better duo in the league. His running backs are Aaron Jones, Todd Gurley, and Chris Carson, as well as James Conner. Wide receivers, he's got Tyler.
Those 4 will be out of the league next year, but
this
year he's good.
But he has 3 firsts already for next year.
Nice.
He's got AJ Brown, Michael Gallup, Tyler Boyd, Darius Slayton, Sammy Watkins, and Brashard Perriman. Tight ends, Ertz, Ingram, Hayden Hurst, and Chris Herndon. The one spot that he might have an issue is his backup quarterback with Nick Foles, but he shouldn't really need to play him ever unless there's an injury. So I think that's an obvious number 1. So then we're just debating 2 and 3.
That's consensus.
Okay, so I had Metal Militia at 2 and George Puff at 3.
Okay.
So my comparison was I had George Puff with the better quarterbacks, Mike with the better running backs. George Puff blows away Metal Militia's wide receivers, but Metal Militia blows away the tight end. So it was kind of a preference thing there.
Give the nod to George Puff.
Yeah, he has the draft capital too.
That's what I was wanting to look at. Yeah,
107 and 108 in this year's class.
I can't believe I normally come out of every startup with a shitload of picks, and I don't
normally don't.
You have them. They're all in the third round.
I don't know what I was doing at all with this draft. It was the worst draft I've ever had.
You were drafting with me.
I drafted with you before, and I absolutely crushed you by all accounts on that draft.
That's debatable.
Your team's way better than mine now, but my draft
obviously was way better week 3.
Yeah, your team's way better than me now, but I played that draft.
By week 3, my team was better. I didn't lose a game other than the one that I lost to Dustin in the fucking cup.
That's right.
Anyway, I would give the nod to George Buff just because his quarterbacks are, in my mind, significantly better than Metal Militia's.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Runs and Ryan, solid.
And at 107 and 108, he should be able to.
Again, he's adding 2 good players there. We know in that top tier, he's adding 2. So,
my guess is he'd be looking at running back to replace Damian Williams and Melvin Gordon.
Definitely. If he can get like a Dobbin. I heard, I was listening to a podcast today, which was Dynasty Happy Hour, and they had on the guys from Red Shirts.
Yep, I was just listening to that.
And so that collaboration, right? They put those 5 guys together and they did a mock, and Dobbins actually went to 110.
Yep.
Wow. Are you serious?
Yeah, and the thing is, it made sense.
It made sense.
Like, it wasn't crazy at all. Like, it's nuts.
In the top 9.
And I just made a trade in another league to move up from 110 to 107, and then I heard that, and I was like, God damn it. I should have just stayed.
No,
that's not going to happen, though.
It's very possible you get a Dobbins, Jerry Jeudy. You're getting a player that last year would have been top 3.
Here's what's going to happen. Jeudy or Lamb, if I'm running the Jets, I'm taking one of those top tackles, okay, and fixing that O-line, and then I'll get wide receiver in the second round. But you know how it goes with the Jets. So if they take Jeudy or Lamb, Adam Gase now with one of those guys, what do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? Is it going to be everybody's going to say, well, look what happened with A.J. Brown. I'm still taking him, the talent. I'm betting on the talent. Or are people going to freak out and say, no, it's Adam Gase, blah, blah, blah? Because I'm telling you, man, if one of those guys go to the Jets, I'm going to be taking them at the end of the first in every single league.
Oh, yeah. You still draft him, I think. Not necessarily. I would move a couple wide receivers if they got better landing spots ahead of him, just because I have one wide receiver ranked very close to Jerry Jeudy right now. But if it's CeeDee Lamb, I'm still taking CeeDee Lamb over any wide receiver in this class. But for me, CeeDee Lamb has the highest upside out of any wide receiver since Amari, honestly.
Yeah, I love him.
But so we got at 1, Steve. 2, are we going with George Puff?
Yeah, Matt. Yeah, Matt.
And then 3 is Metal Militia. 4, Skull Chef. 5, Ross.
Yep.
Okay. You got them written down. You want to read them off?
Yep.
12 through 1. And then I think we need to address Elliot's concern that he's 11. He's very distraught about it.
He is. He's hung up on that one.
All right. So we had Mick at 12, Elliot at 11, Josh at 10, Dustin at 9, myself at 8, Junior at 7, Cody with a K at 6, Ross at 5, Cody the Cookster Skull at 4, Mike Loy at 3, Matt Lindemann at 2, and Steve Mead at number 1. And let's talk about Elliot here at number 11.
So who do we have directly in front of him at 10?
We have Run CMC.
Okay. So for me, their starting lineups, and this I'll even throw in the 102 being Tua.
Okay.
For the Night's Watch, he's got Rodgers, Tua, Derrick Henry, Kareem Hunt, Devontae Adams, DeAndre Hopkins, Allen Robinson, Deebo Samuel, Dallas Goedert, and then probably AJ Green.
I'm changing his wide receiver score to a 5. I love his wide receivers.
It's very, very solid.
Okay.
There's nothing you can do.
His quarterbacks suck. And his running backs, I mean, I don't know, man. Derrick Henry finally did it last year, and I'm sure he'll do it again, but he lost a big factor in his right tackle going to Cleveland, and that's going to hurt. And it's just like, if you guys remember what happened to the Rams when they lost, 3/5 of their starting line. They lost their right tackle after that big year for Gurley, and it just was never the same. And it's very important to be able to run off the right side because you're always going to have that strong left tackle typically. But you're also going to see the center as well, and that's going to hurt. That brings up Travis Frederick for me too with Dallas losing him. That's going to hurt Zeke. I'm telling you, it's going to be a big thing. But Derrick Henry is still going to be fine. He's a beast, and they're going to run the shit out of him this year. But that might be it. This might be the last you hear of Derrick Henry. Who was his second running back?
Kareem Hunt.
His second was Kareem Hunt. So
yeah, I think Kareem Hunt sucks. So
he could produce as a running back too. He could also just be running back 3. The big thing there is their new head coach. When he was calling plays with the Vikings, he didn't use a second running back. It was Cook the entire time when he was healthy. That's the only time we've ever seen him calling plays, but that's the data you have to go off of. Regardless of if Kareem Hunt is a great running back or not, which is debatable. I don't think there's any evidence to show us that they're going to use Kareem Hunt the same way they did last year. I think it's going to be a lot of Nick Chubb and a lot of checkdowns to Jarvis Landry and Hooper. And
Hunt could be a trade candidate too. I mean, if they don't need him, they might.
Remember, the guy who brought him in is no longer there.
Yep,
they're not tied to him at all.
But I also don't think they're going to trade him because why would they trade him? He's cheap.
Yeah, if a running back goes down, somebody gets hurt or whatever, I can see it happening, but I don't think it's likely. But I can definitely see it happening.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Stefanski's been with the Vikings basically his whole career. So all he knows is, he's been there since like 2006. So he's been through multiple offensive coordinators and different philosophies. But for the most part, again, like you said, Mick, we got to go off of what he called as his only time running the offense. So I just think they'll mix him in.
Oh yeah,
but
so his quarterback's not great. His running backs above average, I would say, but not great. His wide receivers definitely are above average. His top
to me, the tight ends are no good.
No, his tight ends is definitely a weak point. And then his flex, to me, AJ Green hasn't played in a year. He's older. He's going to be with a rookie quarterback.
I honestly think his tight ends are worse than mine.
Oh yeah, I would agree with that because Jonnu at least is a starter.
I have you a little bit lower, Scott.
I have Jared Cook too.
Oh, you have Jared Cook too. Oh, then yeah, Jared Cook's top 6.
Where do you have me, Ross? At tight end?
I had you at 11 on tight ends.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
What is Emmanuel Sanders going to do to Jared Cook down there in New Orleans?
Yeah, he definitely cuts in. Yeah, and Kamara being healthy too, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
But Cook had a really, really nice. If you go look at his game splits, Breeze versus Teddy, he absolutely slayed with Breeze. Even early in the year, he had a couple nice games. So I think he's for 1 year. For this year, he can be my guy. But I don't care. Honestly, I'll probably trade him before the season.
You got Disley too. I know he's been injured, but he's got some upside. I just really like Goddard. I'm looking long term on my rankings. So I like Goddard.
I love Goddard, but for this season, I don't. It's he produced as a tight end 12 last year. That was a perfect scenario for him.
I think everybody missed this news, but the Eagles picked up Ertz 21 or they fully guaranteed his 21 option. So Ertz is there this year and he's there next year. He's not going anywhere. And so are they going to spend like 12% of their cap on tight ends? I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know.
The other thing is Goddard is already 26. He's going to be 27 before the end of this.
That's what I'm saying. So how much are they going to pay him?
Goddard was old when he came in, and he's old already. And he's 2 years away from being done with his contract.
Yeah, no, I mean,
well, where was Darren Waller at that age, man?
That was last season. Goddard is a year younger than Waller. That seems weird, but
well, okay. So let's say Ertz goes down and Goddard has a good season. I mean, he's right there. He's got the potential.
Oh, I'm not saying he doesn't.
Yeah, yep, I totally agree.
Carter, that's not what I want to bank on as an injury or injuries to the entire receiving core, and you're throwing to guys like Ward. And
well, I mean, I don't have him high on tight ends. I just like Goddard better than Disley and Cook.
I mean, the Eagles organization, they've been turning over that defense. Look at the last few years, their transactions, they've really moved out some veterans, and they traded away like Michael Bennett, for example, and they've been doing some things, and now they made the trade for Slay, and they've been trying to work on that defense. And the offense has suffered a little bit, but I guarantee you that after what happened last year, they are going to put so much around Wentz this year. I would not be surprised if they don't draft 2 receivers. I'm not kidding you. And if Alshon's healthy, I don't care what you guys think of Alshon. I've seen that dude play in person so many times, and he is an animal. And so, dude, if Alshon's just a 2 and even gives you a half a season healthy, and then whoever they draft, whether it's first or second round, and then maybe like a fourth or fifth round guy as well. And then honestly, I know everybody's off JJ, but I'm buying him everywhere, man. They were teaching him every position last year, and everything was crazy. So he didn't flash much, but I'm telling you, he comes in, and so now you have Ertz, you have Boston Scott, you have Miles Sanders, you have Alshon, you have a drafted receiver or 2. Wentz is going to be slinging it all over, and I just don't think Goddard is. He's one of those guys that might have 10 touchdowns, but he may only have like 45 catches. Like just, and I think what he had last year, like 50, 60 and 5 touchdowns. He had 87 targets last year. Everybody was hurt. Literally everyone was hurt, and he only had 87 targets. I don't see that number going up. I think he's going to be around 70, 80 targets again. So I really don't see it. The only situation is if Ertz was traded or got hurt, that for him to be elite. Otherwise, it's just not happening.
No, he might be right around where he was last year at that tight end 12, 13 range, but I think that's going down, honestly. Like you said, very storm, everyone got hurt, and that was his ceiling.
So he was actually tight end 10 in this league with a 1.75 PPR.
Okay.
And he missed. It looks like he missed week 2 and week 3. Got a goose egg. So.
I mean, I think Jared Cook finished ahead of him.
Yeah, he did. He finished.
Jared Cook definitely.
More yards, more touchdowns, a lot. So that could be a bit fluky for sure. But
so let's just compare, just so Elliot understands why we have him where he's at. Let's compare him to the number 10 team, Run CMC, at quarterback. Rodgers and Tua compared to Stafford and Kyler. I don't think there's an argument that Kyler is better than Rodgers and Stafford is better than Tua.
Yeah,
that's not an argument,
dude. Rodgers at this point isn't even in my top 12. So
for 2020,
for Dynasty, he's definitely not.
Yeah,
2020, he's borderline for me.
No, that offense, the way they want him to work, like he's gonna have a better year this year than he did last. That's pretty much. I mean, I don't think anybody disagrees with that, but I think he will be a borderline wide receiver 1. I really think he's a 12 wide receiver quarterback 12 to 14. Honestly, and Tua may not even start half the year.
Oh yeah.
So by the end of the year, Elliot, you could be rolling, man. But to start off, it could be a little bit rough.
And then at running back, we got for Run CMC, he obviously has CMC, and then Bell, as well as
Geis.
And Geis, Sony, Naheem Hines.
Dude, Hines could be super sneaky out of that crew, man.
Hines could have an Eckler season.
Dude, Rivers is toast. He's going to be dumping it off all the time to Hines, assuming he's on the field.
4.34 speed.
Well, Rivers also has a much better line though in Indy than he did in
yeah,
LA,
I think I don't think he'll have the targets that Eckler did because he'll have more time to throw. But he can definitely be sneaky out of that group for sure. I mean, you're assuming you're starting McCaffrey and Bell, right? And then we'll see what happens with Geis and Michelle. But I mean, Hines is a nice guy to have as like a bye week fill in or an injury depth.
He has DeAndre Washington too, which I don't know.
The running backs aren't even close on these two teams.
No, obviously wide receiver Elliott's team destroyed.
Opposite, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Elliott. That's exactly my point. You own JJ and Boston Scott and Dallas Goedert. All those guys, all those targets are going to get spread out all over. It's going to be Wentz is the one is going to benefit from that.
I think Elliott's argument is because he likes his team so much, and I can't argue with him. I do like his team a lot, but for this season, he has so much invested in his wide receivers, and his quarterback and his tight end and his running back kind of suffer because of it. Whereas the teams above him are all more even and spread out.
And what
I can't say that I dislike Elliott's team at all. Who did who have?
Does Elliott have 7-108?
He has 102.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so he's taking a quarterback. Okay, yeah.
And he has no picks in 2021, by the way.
Oof. Okay.
So I don't dislike his team at all, but
it just relies on Hunt breaking through somehow and Aaron Rodgers, bouncing back.
And Tua actually being a quarterback.
And Tua healthy.
I mean, I might take Tua at 101, so you can have Burrow.
You should probably trade that 102, get some kind of youngish quarterback, and then take a running back later or something.
Well, I'm trading the 101 to Mick for Daniel Jones. So, right, Mick?
Danny Dimes?
What?
Right, Mick?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, you heard that.
Well, my wife.
I said I'm trading you the 101
for
Danny Dimes. You should take that, Mick. It's a Tiger King.
Hey, what's Dustin's team name?
Send it.
That dealer.
Send it. I'll do it.
We're gonna do a live trade right now.
All right.
Just said send
That's
it.
what I'm talking about. That's what we're here for.
Okay, so
I'll do the 101 for Danny.
He
Scott's
said
ignoring me now.
he said he wants to give. Well, we're gonna do this trade first, and then we'll do that trade. So, he said he wants to give me David Montgomery and the 205 for Preston Williams. What do you think?
Man, he gave up a first for David Montgomery. That's a hard fall pretty quickly.
He gave him a first?
Yeah, he gave up his 9th and a first to move up to the 7th for David Montgomery.
Really?
Yeah.
Monty's a rebounding
I was trying
for me, man. He's gonna get a lot of carries this year.
Same thing.
Yeah, he's the one guy in that offense that. Well, I mean, A-Rob's gonna be fine, but Monty is gonna get a lot of carries this year. If you're in a point per carry league, go buy Monty.
He's not going to be efficient, though, because they haven't addressed the O-line and they lost Kyle Long.
No, he won't, but he might have 250 carries for 800 yards.
Hey, Dustin, you're the dealer. The shop is never closed.
Yeah, what the hell? What are you talking about, Dustin?
It's always open.
You just...
All right. So that's Elliott's team. I mean, it's good. It's good. It's just not balanced.
Dude, 6 months from now, this is all going to be different.
Oh, yeah, it's all going to be different. So don't be upset about where you ranked.
In 1 month, it's going to be different.
We're gonna do this again after the draft. Seriously, just even a few weeks from now, 1 month from now, we could do this again, and we might have this completely different.
Oh yeah, I mean, I ranked myself 12th, so
yeah, I mean that's obviously gonna change after this. So after the draft,
any of it personally. That's why Ross is being anonymous.
Oops. Sorry, Ross.
I'd rather just look at my. I'd just rather look at my 2 monitors than undo my laptop.
I just got a trade. I just got a trade offer. My 106. This is a 1 quarterback league. My 106 for the 113 Latavius Murray and Marcus Mariota in a 1 quarterback league.
Is that like a 14-team league?
What's wrong with people? No, it's a 12-team league. But the orphan was so bad that we gave this dude an extra pick at the end of each round. So he has the 113, the 213, the 313, you know. But I literally offered this dude OBJ and Kerryon Johnson for the 104 and Calvin Ridley. And I never expected him to accept that. But I thought it was a fair starting point to get, you know, a conversation going. And he instant declines and then counters Manny Sanders for Kerryon Johnson. I'm like, how far is this dude falling, man? Oh my God, like Kerryon is worthless. It's crazy. Nobody likes that dude.
Nuts.
Well, there's a lot of rumors they're going to take it back to compete with him. So.
Oh, I'm sure they are. The dude can't stay healthy. He couldn't stay healthy in college either, but he's good.
I mean, his value could shoot back up if they don't land a good running back or just someone that people don't love in fantasy.
They're gonna draft somebody though. They have to.
I'm assuming you keep talking about Kerryon. You broke up a little bit there, but I'm assuming it's Kerryon.
Yeah, Kerryon.
Oh, he. I'm gonna say it again. I've said it pretty much every time I've talked to Scott. He has only stayed healthy for 2 seasons since his sophomore year of high school.
Right, exactly. I know, it just sucks, man.
It's nuts.
He's so talented.
He's so talented when he's healthy, but just can't stay healthy.
You just think you could get like even a second for him or something, you know?
I saw someone trade him for 2 seconds earlier today. Come on, Dustin, let's do this trade live.
He didn't like my counter offer.
Oh, so you're not trying to be Danny Dimes anymore, or for Danny Dimes?
Oh, you want to do that one? Yeah, I wouldn't
don't know.
I wouldn't do it straight up, but maybe we can build a trade around that.
Why don't we do a live trade of Saquon? Let's get some.
Or we can do
some buyer.
Okay, Saquon. All right,
Saquon.
Let's find a buyer for Saquon on this.
Oh, apparently Ross is a buyer. I was just talking to Junior, and I thought a deal worked out with him, but then he was like, "No, Ross wants him." So I guess it's you.
No, I said I would look at his offer.
Oh, Ross, just tell him no. That way he takes mine.
We're going to do an auction right now on Saquon, so everybody put in a bid. I'm putting in the 101 as the starting bid for Saquon.
Scott, that's racist. Let me stop you right there.
What? What happened? What'd I say?
We're going to find a trade partner for Saquon.
Okay.
You said an auction about one, which I mean, and that's what an auction draft is. So I don't know what Ross had a problem with.
Auctioning off Saquon, we're trying to get him the best deal possible. We're helping a brother out, okay? And so I'm starting the bid at the 101. I'm offering the 101 for Saquon. Who can make a better offer?
Can or will?
Who will make a better offer?
I need to go to bed though, because my wife's mad.
Why?
Because it's 11:14 and I get up at 5 in the morning.
Why do you do that?
Because I go to work.
You go to work? You don't work?
I do.
No,
I have a job other than flipping houses. I flip houses. That's my side job that I also work 40 plus hours doing a week.
Well, that sucks.
That's why I never sleep, Ross or Scott.
Yeah, I don't.
And then
I don't work.
I know you don't. And then you still end up taking 12 hours to draft.
Even though I was in the top 5 fastest, so okay, that's literally stats.
Yeah, we can pull that up. I mean, if you want to
Yeah,
That
I was
overnight.
top 5.
My time, it counted overnight. Twice.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't do that.
It did. There's no way I had 24 hours. I wasn't on the clock for that.
You definitely did. I think they were confusing you with me because for some reason they thought I took forever, and it was 2 picks that I took a few hours because I was working. And by the way, just go ahead and change the clock then. I'll just pre-draft them. I don't give a shit.
I'm just giving you shit. I didn't care. I'm just upset that my time was skewed. Because it was definitely doing it. It happened to me and it happened to Steve. Because Steve was on the clock for over 2 days by the 3rd day of the draft.
That's messed up.
Yeah.
Mick, can you see my screen?
No. Oh, yeah. Hold on. There you go.
So this is the the tracker that I thought was kind of off. The one that was more accurate was during the draft, and that one's gone away now since we switched over to the rookie draft. But it's close enough.
Bill, it's not bad.
I was 6th fastest, so I was top half. Steve is still drafting. He's still on this pick.
But I gotta head to bed, guys. So I will talk to y'all tomorrow. Maybe, probably not. I mean, if you want Danny Dimes, we can talk. I don't think we've ever made a trade. Other than
we did.
Startup.
Yeah, we did. Because remember, I was like, "Hey, we finally made a trade in FFA."
Had to have been a small one. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know if I remember.
But I mean, we're both in like 30+ leagues. So
Yeah, something like that. I'm looking for another startup to do, but best ball only. I'm not doing lineups anymore. I fucking hate lineups. Best ball only. So if anybody's doing a best ball startup and needs a spot, I'm in. Hit me up.
I don't like best ball. I love it.
Is that a dynasty league best ball?
Yeah, you can dynasty league best ball.
Oh my god, it's so much better. You don't have to worry about lineups. It's amazing. So you do the draft, you do trading, you have all the fun parts, and you just skip the lineups. I love dynasty best ball.
Oh, so it doesn't lock at like week 1. You can still trade throughout the season.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
That's
It's everything's the same. You just don't set lineups. It's perfect. I run them. Most of them are on MFL. But yeah. So.
All right. Well, I'm gonna head to bed. So
all right, guys.
Good night, everybody. If you don't like the rankings, quit sucking and
make some trades.
All right. Peace.
Peace.